Let's see. Going with a point 0.3 somewhere. Maybe I'll start with my fat one. No, I don't like my fat one. I'm gonna go with point 0.3. And this is another commission for Mickey Barfield of the Polyhedral Knights for his role-playing game called Pirates of a Shattered World. Currently have a Kickstarter going. I've done 2 illustrations already for him, and I don't know if he'll have more for me for this game, but Mickey is a very good client of mine who has continued to use my work, my services, and when I say a really good client, I really love our relationship. Um, he says that I get him, meaning that I can understand the vision that he's going for, um, and he doesn't have to worry too much about the art instructions that he gives me. They're not very detailed. Because I guess because well, I don't know how he deals with other artists, and I hope the sound in the background is not too distracting. I might be able to minimize it some here a little bit. Well, cool. All right. I was I've been using a service called If This Then That, and it lets you connect multiple different services and accounts and such. And I had recently connected my Twitch to Twitter. Twitter is built for lots of messages, and so but whenever I go live on Twitch, I now have a message that goes out to Twitter that says that I'm live, and then invites people to join me, and hopefully that'll bring a few more people. And kind of grow this audience. it's gonna have more engagement. I like being able to talk, um, not just to myself. I find when I talk to myself, I don't have a lot to say. I like engagement with people. So I know I have quite a few people who follow my work, and it's just getting them from other locations to here. Not everybody shares the same interest in um, social media locations, and I will be first to say that Twitch is probably not the go-to location for most of my clients. I could be wrong. I have found some people that I know there, and so hopefully that'll be an indication that they'll pull over to here. We'll see. This is supposed to be a barbarian gorilla. Um, Set in a post-apocalyptic world, but so far in the future that they've kind of rebuilt, and they've discovered the technologies of old, and that's actually their magic. So it's heavily fantasy, but they still have mutant humans. They've got sentient animals. I would call them mutants as well, but I'm not sure how they refer to them as. So I hope. You know what? I didn't realize my lines couldn't be seen. That's a common reoccurrence, and I've been warned of that was going to be a reality. I didn't realize how much of a reality. I constantly have to move this around. In the future, when I've got actually, when I say the future, tomorrow, when my camera stand is supposed to come in, what I'll try and do is have a little area that I say, hey, this is where this art needs to be. Maybe I'll be really cool to set up a little um, maybe like LED light or something where I can have a little frame that always reminds me, hey, keep this right here so everybody can see. I often I'll probably go over the method to my madness. I will probably go over the method to my madness pretty often. Hey, Disco Soup, thanks for dropping in. Oh, Disco Soup, I connected. Jacob Ross. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Hey, thanks for following me, Disco. Um, as I was saying, that I'll probably repeat myself quite often because I want to be able to share. I want to say repeat myself quite often. Repeat my process. You never know who's gonna come in, when, and where. Um, awesome. Glad my memory served me well. I appreciate you following me here. I'm trying to get up to 50 so I can get to that next stage where I can, you know, start to benefit a little bit from doing this. What? Well, I was gonna say what brought you here, but I know. I'm pretty sure I know what brought you here. Any, anything besides you just wanting to come see me? Uh, right now I'm going through and I'm trying to lay out or not lay out. I always go with a thicker line to hit all my undershadow lines. Undershadow. That's not even a real word. That's what I use to to describe some of these lines. And there's so many important parts on this character that I get afraid. Afraid. Yeah, I get afraid of committing to a line. Ink is not forgiving. I've gotten pretty used to it. Uh, used to it, I guess. Not, still not the right word I'm looking for. Um, I got my little tips and tricks, and I've been doing inks for a while, so I have my method of laying down inks. But I like line depths. Uh, I don't like them all to be like I like all my dark lines, my thick lines to go underneath where the shadows would be. It creates the illusion of depth in your illustration. Okay, that is fine. At some point, I plan on having my closed caption going. There's a certain amount. I guess I'm seeing the value of it because even I like to. Even I will put on a video and just watch and read the caption if they've got it. So I appreciate your willingness to hang around, even though you're not listening. That's showing me an area that I need to pay attention to. Stop procrastinating on. The lines on this one, the detail lines that I can't wait to get to are gonna be they're gonna be a pain. know that one already. But if I do them right, they're going to be beautiful. It's going to be something I don't normally do for hair. At least I don't remember doing it for hair. I saw it on another artist who had done some artwork of Gorilla Grodd. I'd like to be able to get to the stage where I can be an affiliate here, but in time, if need be. This is primarily, in case you haven't heard it enough times already, primarily just me trying to have office hours, a way of tracking my work. Because in freelance art, it's so easy to lose track of how much work you need to get done. And so, I mean, aside from, hey, this project is due, I mean, you always have that in freelance art. Um, it's always the next thing. Um, and so I've got a few things lined up and working on a few others, and so I'm kind of excited about that. I think that I'm full for the next month. Um, I think that's correct. If I was to guesstimate my workload, one of the ones I'm working on right now is going to be so fun once it's all done. I mean, it's fun in the process, but I guess for me, the most fun I have is I like inking this whole process. I don't like to be rushed on it, but I understand I still have to work within a time frame. So this, but also seeing what it looks like at the very end, be able to sit back and have something that you're proud that you accomplished. Um, I just recently added uh, some things to my Twitch page. Basically, how you can find me on other social media, about me, how often you can expect me to be here. Um, let's see, what I'm doing. I eventually will jump back on my Patreon stuff. Um, for those of you that aren't aware, I had gone to a normal job to try and take better care of my family. I'm a husband and father of four, so that we got a household of six, and I am the sole provider. And I was just trying to I was trying to do something that would um, more reliably provide for them. But I didn't realize what I was giving up when I did. It was good for the season, the amount of time that I did. I did that, but I came back. A couple of reasons. One, um, when I wasn't enjoying the work. That wasn't the ultimate reason, but that did have its part. Two, I was missing out a lot on what I didn't realize I had, the ability to be home and present for the family. I know I have to have office hours, and but just to be around, to be able to stop and to always have lunch with them. That at least that ability I didn't get to today because I was trying to uh, finish up some work today. But if you've got the freedom, if you have the ability to be free, uh, I encourage you to pursue that. Yeah, you're not gonna have all the niceties in the world. Yeah, you might not have security in your work, but my security is not in my work. So I just, I trust I'm going to be provided for, and I just go from there. We've never gone hungry. I'd like to, I'd like to have. Uh, there's some things that we'd like to have, like consistent insurance. But what I've got going now is so much better than that job. Yes, the other thing was, I had, here I am in September. I will be 40, and I already have a number of skill sets. Um, and I had taken a job in which I would need to be learning another skill set. If I was to go through all the skill sets I already have, um, it's ridiculous to think, um, to consider, even in my book, to try and build it and learn another skill set. I don't need it. So, uh, again, for those who may be new in the audience, listening and all that, I'm doing an illustration for Mickey Barfield of Polyhedral Knights for a game titled Pirates of a Shattered World. They currently have a Kickstarter going. Um, I encourage you to go check it out. It'll give me more work. Um, I'm convinced he's going to make it no matter how well it sells, or not it sells, no matter how well it does on Kickstarter. But uh, the more that I'll make sure that this can be seen. I often forget. Okay, good, good. So many times today I'd be talking and not even notice that my screen, my illustration couldn't be seen. So I gotta be cognizant of that. Oh, I feel like I've lost my my view on this piece. Oh, I've also lost my lost my pencil. Oh, there it is. I got a new seat for my art table, and my new seat doesn't have um, a back, so I often forget that, and suddenly I'm falling backwards. I need to pull up my reference for my foot. I want to make sure I get this right. You know what? I probably. Oh, that's the wrong reference. I probably have no foot in my references. Yeah, see, of course I don't. Of course I don't. And I'll see if I have any feet references for gorillas. Feel like I'm not getting any luck here. Oh, okay. I don't like that one very much. Oh, I guess that's all I got. I guess I could go Google it, but that'll do. So this is my favorite pencil, by the way. I'm gonna have to get rid of it in the short future. It's on its last legs. Okay, there we go. I need a base outline to work from, and so there's my my base. My kids are watching some movie. I don't know what movie they're watching. Uh, I know my wife set it up for them before she left. She actually went to go and visit a church member in the hospital. And this lady has cancer. She spent 12 years as missionary in South America. She had to come back because she got cancer. So I know that she's gone through a lot. But I will say that this woman has an incredible attitude. I know that many people wouldn't be able to handle that well, myself probably included. I love my I love all my kids, but my youngest is such a character. I mean, I guess they all are, aren't they? All of them at that age. Oh, I think I know what they're watching. A show that I don't watch. No. Um, it's an animated the Troll Hunters, the Troll Hunters series. And I don't watch it. I don't watch it because I don't want to. It's just that they typically watch it when I'm working. I like how he corrects even TV shows. And he's sitting there watching it with his siblings, and there's some joke made, and he corrects them so that they make some sort of joke, and he points out how it's something more, obviously not what was said, but I guess he considers ridiculous, which I guess that's the whole purpose. So, uh, apparently the Troll Hunters series has a new episode out, or a new, I don't know. They thought it was over or something, I think. Oh no. When I sketched this, I gave him a human foot, and he needs to have not a human foot. He needs a gorilla foot. So that's gonna require going over this. I'll go with the 10 because the 8. I'm sorry. I go with the 8 because the 10 is just so dark or so thick that it takes a while to dry. What tends to happen is I forget, and I try and start using it before it's done. So I mentioned that I was working before. I worked for about 6 months at a machine shop, and it was, you know, it, machine shops are just that. They just create items nonstop and require a certain amount of almost perfection. Um, Not a whole lot of room for error. Because if you mess up, it can crash the machine, and then that machine is out for hours or longer, and they're expensive. Um, Not only are they out, but someone has to come and spend that time repairing them. Hopefully, um, someone that works there instead of having to call a specialist. But if someone has to come and work on them, that's time that they can't be working on producing other stuff, and that's money that the shop is out. And that can add up really quickly, given the understanding of how much the shop can produce in a day, or one machine can produce. So, and this wasn't like most machine shops either. And when I say that, it was actually good that it wasn't. Um, they actually take really good care of their employees. They care about them. Most machine shops, if you're a machinist, you have your own tools, and you'll go to work for a machine shop, and they'll have some sort of big project. They need a bunch of people working, and you'll work for them for a certain period until they're out of that work, until that big job is done. Maybe they might have another project lined up, but generally not always. And so then they'll let you go, and you take your tools and you go somewhere else. But they don't do that here or there. Um, they value their employees and try and retain them. Um, what you think, and they're able to do that because they establish good relationships with their clients, and so they have good repeat business, and that is the key. Even in freelancing, that is the key. It's not about how many projects you can get or how well known you are. It's about establishing good relationships with people and repeat business. Uh, so I'm gonna turn the camera so y'all can kind of have a better view. Let's see if that works. I have to draw higher up if I put it right there. So let me bring it further down in hopes that I don't mess this up. There we go. I like that. Okay. What time is it? It is 8:18. Alright, well, I'm going to continue. My kids are watching a movie. I don't really care to watch whatever it is they're doing. My wife's out, so I'm going to take this time and I'm going to try and get this done. Now, with their movies, well, my officially my work day ends at 8:30. So if either one of them are done at that point, I will end my stream and go spend time with family. So I don't know if it can be heard in the background, but I get my music going. I'm listening to Chiptune Radio. Listen to that because I don't really have to worry too much about getting lost in lyrics. I mean, there's not really, there's only the occasional lyric. Um, and when it is in my head that's not chip tunes. They've added chip tunes. I mean, they might be using chip tune music, but I feel like it's not in the spirit of chip tunes to add vocals, because the whole purpose of chip tunes is you're limiting yourself to just the tool sets that they had in the game in the old games, and so that's pretty fascinating if you pay attention. Um, if you pay attention to um, if you've ever seen anybody talking about it, about the chiptune kind of movement and what they had to work with, it really is fascinating how they were able to take you know with chip tunes you only have so many sounds to work with, and then they have effects that they can apply to those sounds, and because they apply effects to sounds, to those limited sounds, they're able to simulate other things. They're able to simulate, drums. They're able to simulate uh, maybe a siren, or uh, maybe they can even simulate a a guitar whale, or those type of things. Just really, really cool. You should check it out sometime. Again, I want to thank everybody for stopping in and watching me ink and talk. Um, I much prefer to be able to talk to people instead of myself. um, even if no one actually talks to me, I like to imagine that there's some sort of engagement there. Um, I've repeatedly said that um, this is mainly for me to have office hours. So it's a new thing for me. But I'm liking it. Yep, yep, yep. Tomorrow, I should be getting a camera stand, and hopefully I can rig that up better than what I've got going. And because if you notice the Legos, that's actually my custom built uh, camera stand. Using my phone to stream from. Speaking of chip tunes, the ones I get really impressed with is when they take well-known songs and replicate them in in chiptune format. One that they like to do, or seem to like to do, is Metallica songs. I thought I was listening to one, but this one is not. Oh, thanks, Tibbs Fox. Wood dowels and U-bolts. You can quickly make adjustable stands for cameras or whatever else. Well, I had someone purchase one for me. So I'm gonna see how well that one does. Um, Pretty grateful. It was like I think my second ever stream, and he noticed my need for it, So, I mean, I built one out of Legos. I suppose you can if you get crafty enough, you can build whatever you want out of not pretty much everything, but a lot of stuff. But I did. I am glad to see that I'm gonna have something else soon because while I did enjoy the fact that I put together something with Legos, it's not perfect. I suppose nothing really is, but uh, I would try and adjust it to be able to see things from my perspective. Because if I try and ink on this one to the right, I'm like, yeah, what? I can now see it. Oh wow, okay. I can now I know I could have kept it there. Huh, that's cool. How did the Legos keep it from skipping? Oh, a shock mount. Oh, what do you use for the shocks? The what I used on in this little tower thing was mostly just bricks, but I've got those little narrow bricks that have the holes in the side and have some pieces that I've wedged the phone in. Legos are pretty awesome. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. Uh, but some Lego enthusiasts would say that doesn't count because it wasn't all Legos. But that would have been fine by me. Because it's whatever works. My youngest doesn't. He got 2 volumes and 0 filters. Yeah, I think I recall that. But even at that, for Legos to be truly effective, it has to be what you got. You shouldn't have to go out and buy Legos because then you might as well just buy whatever it is you're trying to do. Trying to replicate because Legos are too expensive now. So everybody, it's both nostalgia and it's um, the different IPs. that people want to collect, and it's almost like Legos just retain their value. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but this is certainly what it feels like. Wood glue and popsicle sticks. Yeah. Let me. So my client has asked for an illustration, so you can put it on the Kickstarter page. I don't have a problem with that. He's good for his money. Uh, I've never had a problem with him. That's the type of relationships you want. Um, Ones that you can trust. You don't have to. The ones, especially, that you don't even have to um, write a contract for. You don't have to. Now, it's still a good idea to have one written up in case things go south. But I'm going to go ahead and let him have both black and white images. I may have finished one today and one last week. So, pardon me while I. Why didn't she save? Oh, there she is. He's wanting it for the Kickstarter page so that it can do better. So I don't have a problem with that at all. There we go. He's got both. All right. Julie's. But what if you need? Oh yeah. I was thinking, they might not be as uh, it's flexible. That's not the word I'm looking for. But you can, you know, there it's just prototype materials. You can add things to them as you need to. If you needed to, add uh, um, a motor of some sort, or moving gears. But for the most part, just prototypes. So yeah, I can't say I've done a whole lot with them, but um, that's nice. You got some, so that way you got some width to work with. Some width to work with, yeah. All right, past my past the end of my workday, but as I mentioned earlier, kids are watching their movie. My wife's still out, so I'm going to take advantage of this time. But if either one of them ends, I'm out. So, but yeah, um, Kickstarter this is for is Pirates of a Shattered World. Uh, so if you want to check it out, you can. And if it's not your cup of tea, no big deal. The one location I'm always hesitant to touch is the face. So I always want to get that just right. And the wrong line. I mean, that's where your eyes go on every character is they go to the face. So that's the one thing I want to get right. I'm using a .05 Copic multiliner right now. It's pretty forgiving if I mess up. Because I can, if I start going the wrong way, I can still, I can just thicken the line a little bit and start going another way. That might just happen here. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm starting to go a little bit in and I don't want to. So I'll just thicken up that line and make it a smoother transition. Up and around. I'll use this same one when I start making when I start using it for the cool little detail, the filigree inside of this axe head. Oh, my lines are messing up. I normally don't say anything about it, but I wanted to say it because I just mentioned that this thing is pretty forgiving. If I use something larger, say the .1, I have a much smaller margin of error that I can work with. Yeah, yeah. Not bad at all. I like that and the Faber-Castell, but I like the Copic multi-liner because I'm a self-proclaimed micro artist, and I like using this like the .03 for details. And I can take I can take a quarter page illustration and make it a full page. Koh-i-Noor, I haven't heard of those before. Um, but as an example, this Doom inspired illustration, because I can do such small lines, and then because of the action I've created in Photoshop, I can take this and make it poster size. It turns it vector. You don't lose a whole lot of. You don't lose your quality too much once you move to vector. And so long as what you want to watch out for is how large you color at. There's one thing for your black and whites. Um, uh, for your lines to be a certain size, but however you color, that's you can't really vector in Photoshop, at least that I'm aware of. You can't do vectors with that. Okay, drafting pins. Kohinoor rapidograph. Okay. I will. Are those permanent pins? You mentioned that these are pretty nice for disposable pins. I've had some exposure to drafting, but not for years. Yeah, I think I'd rather stick with the disposable. But before I finalize on that thought, why are they your go-to? What makes it worth it? What makes the cleanup worth it, and the using your own ink worth it? And what's the cost difference that you see? Okay, so you're really just paying for ink, but how long? Okay, yeah, there's that. Uh, how much? You were already answering my question before I even asked it. Um, but how long would you say it takes for you to clean them? I'm wondering if that how that factors into things too. 20 to 35 per pin. Oh yeah, yeah, I could see. Do they come in really fine? Um, well, I guess I shouldn't even ask that. It's their drafting pins. I imagine that they're going to come in some really small sizes. Yeah, I think that would be too much work for me. Not that I can't do the work, but when I'm done with the day, I like to be, you know, quick cleanup, not having to worry about it. And the other thing is, there's no risk of losing my artwork. If there's if something happens at the desk, I've got I've got 4 kids. Oh, okay, yeah, that wouldn't work for me either. I mean, I could use it, I should say, but it, um, I work really small. That is 7 by 0. How's it compared to? I'm trying to point one. I really don't know if these are millimeters or what they are. 0.03. I'm working with a sorry point yeah 0.05. I have a point 0. Oh, okay. And then 1/10 of 1 millimeter. A 0.13, but you gotta understand what I'm working with here. I don't know if you can even see it. I don't know if the lights will compared to what I'm working with. Okay, okay, all right. So is it small? You have the same pen. That's right. That's right. But is it a 0.13? Still doesn't feel small enough for me. Well, okay, for me, I recognize. Okay, so the 0.1 is going to be close to that, to the smallest that you're going to find with the Kino or whatever it was called. Kino, I'm not saying it's not small, but I'm so used to using even much smaller that I do forget that how ridiculous I am with my size of pen. See, I typically use these for main lines and not detail lines. think I'm getting close to calling it a day. Like a little bit of time. Oh, yep. So that's gonna be it for me. Uh, Family's home, and I'm gonna spend time with them. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow morning. I hope to see y'all then.